listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries. As we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media, this is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. Before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest, Jeff Sipes. Blue Water Credit is in the house with us. Welcome, Jeff.
Thanks so much, Ron. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. Let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me. First, there are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. National Kitchen Klutzes of America Day.
It is what it is.
Random Acts of Light Day. Weed Your Garden Day. Not a chance in the world. Can we go back to yesterday when it was Peanut Butter Cookie Day? Anybody but me like those peanut butter cookies that come right from the Girl Scouts, especially? Right, chocolate covered peanut butter. Right? That.
Hey, Ron, we've got a problem. We want to restart the intro. You are cutting out really bad.
Okay, I thought it was me, Josh.
No, yeah, it's his internet again.
Okay.
I wonder if he knows yet.
Want me to text him?
I just sent him a message to see if he...
Okay.
And he's re-adding himself.
Okay, never mind.
He's still frozen though. Oh.
How do we do that one?
Yeah. We'll have to restart from the top.
Oh, you gotta love it. Gotta love it. Holy cow. Hang on 1 second, We're gonna restart. I'm gonna see if I can get it to go on the jetpack here.
So if you're watching right now on our live stream, say we are just having some technical difficulties. We will be back up and running in just a few.
Are we back?
Yep, you're good.
Hello, hello.
I can hear you, Ron.
Okay, let's see if Josh, you hearing me?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, so we'll start it again from the top.
Yep.
Let me get a timer on here because now I can't just go by the clock. Okay, here we go. We'll get it rolling.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries. As we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media, this is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We're a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. Let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me. First, there are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest. Jeff Sipes is in the house. Blue Water Credit. Welcome, Jeff.
Hey, thanks, Ron. Happy Sunday, everybody.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And let's see if we've got something to celebrate today. And we're having a little bit of technical problems, but hey, I always am ready for that. Today, National Kitchen Klutzes of America Day, Random Acts of Light Day, Weed Your Garden Day.
It is what it is.
Sewing Machine Day. Can we go back to yesterday where it's National Peanut Butter Cookie Day, please? Now, I like peanut butter cookies, having beaten anorexia. Peanut butter cookies, that's a good one for me. I kind of enjoy those. Maybe the Girl Scout cookies, that might be the best option. Right? I like those Girl Scout cookies, those the I forgot what they call them, but I did learn a couple of years ago. Maybe you guys know this. I don't know. I didn't. Girl Scout cookies in Orange County, California were more money than they were in Riverside County, California. $1 a box difference. So I was kind of surprised by that one. But hey, you know something? As they say,
it is what it is.
So what else has been going on in the world this week? We've been watching a lot of good stuff going on. We did come out, as I told you a week ago, that the Fannie Mae Refi Now program is now out. So if you haven't refinanced your loan, if you haven't looked into it recently, there might be some benefits to you in looking at that Fannie Mae Refi Now. Give our team a call, 800-306-1990. You can send us a copy of your mortgage statement to RJ at ronsiegelradio.com, RJ at ronsiegelradio.com. We can take a look at it, get you a total cost analysis to see if it makes sense to you. But today, what we really wanted to chat more about and what our focus today will be is we're going to actually talk a lot with our guest, Jeff Sipes. He's from Blue Water Credit. And I can tell you, I don't know, Jeff, maybe 5 or 6 years now we've been working together, something along those lines.
Yeah, it's been, we met in Palm Desert, I think, 6 years ago.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. And Jeff and his team do a great job of something that is very, very important if you're thinking about buying a new home, right? I mean, if you're thinking about buying a new car, buying new furniture, home improvement that's going to be financed, all of those things, it's all very, very important because your credit score is going to drive everything. And Jeff is a credit score expert. Now, I was just going to say scoring expert, but I thought some people may get the wrong idea here, Jeff. So we're going to be very, very precise that it's credit scores that we're talking about today. Don't want to get you in trouble.
Credit scores and reports. That's what we're dealing with.
Credit scores and reports. So talk to me. I hear the first thing I want you to really get into, Jeff. Can you talk to FICO scores versus FAKO scores?
Oh, 100%, Ron. So most of us have some type of credit monitoring, whether it's Credit Karma or monitoring scores from our credit cards. Unfortunately, all those credit scores that we're getting for free, or even if we're paying for them, are likely inaccurate. They could be 10 points off. They could be up to 100 points off. And so FICO is the brand name of credit scores that's used to make lending decisions. So it's the only credit score used in the mortgage industry. So if you're looking at Credit Karma and then they go and if they think their credit score is a 740 and then they go to apply for a loan with you, Ron, you're going to see a completely different number. And I'm sure you have this conversation on a daily or at least weekly basis.
Yeah, it's amazing how many people think that, they'll call in and so here's I'll let you answer this the way the credit expert would. I'll tell you afterwards how I answer it, but I get a call from somebody and they say, my credit is great, Ron. I've got a 875 score.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, so you kind of laugh at that, right? I mean, so what is it? Why do you laugh when you hear an 875? Somebody tells you they got a great score. It's 875.
Yeah. So unfortunately, in the mortgage industry, the credit scoring model only goes up to 850. So it's impossible to have a credit score of 875. Therefore, they are 100% looking at an inaccurate credit scoring model.
Yeah, I think I've heard that, and maybe you can correct me on this. Does Credit Karma go up to 900 or 950?
It does not. So Credit Karma uses the Vantage 3.0 credit score. And so their range is similar to FICO. The ones that have the higher credit scores are like the Trans Risk, which is TransUnion's score. It goes up to 990. And then there are some FICO scoring models like in the car industry and credit cards that do go up to 900 as well.
Okay, so basically it's just telling us that they're getting some inaccurate information from somewhere.
Yep. Unfortunately, there's only two ways to get an accurate credit score, especially if you're looking for a mortgage or if you're looking for mortgages. One is you have your favorite lender pull it. So Ron Siegel, go to Ron Siegel, have him run your credit, and you're looking at the real scores. The only way to get an accurate mortgage credit score online is through FICO's website, which is myfico.com. That's myfico.com. Now, because it's the only way to get a score, there is a cost. It's $60 to get all three reports and scores, or you sign up for the credit monitoring at $30 a month. You have access to the report and scores. And it is a soft inquiry, Ron, so it won't impact your credit score at all if you buy it from myfico.com.
So what does that mean, a soft inquiry, Jeff? Explain that a little bit.
Yeah. So when you apply for a loan or if you pull your credit, it's called a credit inquiry. There's three types. There's a soft inquiry. That's if I check my own credit or if a background check's done on me or like a utility company's checking my credit. Those are all considered soft inquiries. They don't show up anywhere on the credit report. There's no hit to the credit score for that. But if somebody does apply for a home loan, a credit card, a car loan, if they're applying for a loan and a hard inquiry is done, then it does impact the score typically up to 5 points. Now, the good news, Ron, is there's 30 days to do rate shopping. So if you just had a lender pull your credit within the last 30 days and you want to have you, Ron, or your team check the credit report to see if you guys potentially could do give them a better rate or something, then there's no adverse impact to another mortgage credit score as long as it's done within the 30-day time frame.
Within 30 days, so that they understand that people are actually out there rate shopping.
Yep, 100%. Yeah, and so you have that 30-day window for a home loan or for a car loan. Each time you apply for a credit card, it will impact the score up to 5 points.
Up to 5 points.
Yep, that's correct. And then it does hurt the score for up to a year. After a year, FICO ignores it. It does show up on the credit report for a total of 2 years, though. So 12 months is factored. It falls off your credit after 2 years.
So let's talk about that a little bit then, Jeff, because I have so many people when they call in, their big concern is, hey, Ron, I don't want you to run credit because it's going to kill my FICO score. And I kind of, my comment to them is, if they haven't been running it an excessive number of times, then, you know, the inquiries account for what, 10% of the score? Is that it?
Yep. Yeah. And so we can talk about this probably a little later in the show. I'll go over all the categories that FICO looks at when they generate a score, but you're right. Inquiries only factor 10% of the score. And then Ron, if in order to get qualified, you have to do a mortgage check or a credit inquiry. And so you just got to kind of deal with it. And it's only typically 1 to 5 points. So it's not a significant impact to the score.
So here's my thought on this, and then I'll throw it to you, Jeff, as well. Is the credit score runs, what, 300 to 850 for a mortgage, a true mortgage FICO? Is that right?
Yep, that's the range, yeah.
So that means if my math is correct, 850 minus 300, that means you've got a 550-point range. And if the inquiries account for 10%, that's 55 points. And if I run my credit score, say 3 or 4 times, say 4 times, and it hits the max, 20 points, that takes me from an 850 to an 830. Is 830 a good score or a bad score?
That's a fantastic score. Anything over 800 is stellar.
Yeah, that's so you can almost take unless you're going out there and running your credit a tremendous amount of times, you can almost take that whole thought of inquiries off the table, can't you?
You sure can, Ron. Yep, you sure can.
Okay, so got some good information right there. Now we know kind of what we need. Now give us an idea, Jeff. Where are the numbers as far as what we need to qualify or to work on, and then we'll talk more about how to do that. So yeah, I don't see anything. And you talk to a lot of people, so it's what, 750 or more, you're going to get your best rates, aren't you? Yeah, that's generally speaking. And you being in the mortgage industry, you could probably expand on this too, but all lenders have what's called risk-based pricing. And so your credit score basically determines the amount of risk or the level of risk you have to the bank on paying back your loan. And so FICO's score is a 2-year forecast on the likelihood of you not paying your loan back. And so if you have a really high score, the lender or the banks views you as very safe to loan money to. And so if you have an 800 credit score, the odds of you not paying your loan back are less than 1 out of 100. And so I use the gambling analogy a lot, Ron. So imagine if you went to a casino, you sat down at a blackjack table and you won 99 times in a row, and then you lost once, and then you won 99 times in a row. You'd be crazy to leave that table. And so if you have an 800 plus score, that's how lenders view you as loaning money. You're a very safe bet for them. If I go to the blackjack table and win 99 times in a row and then lose one, my wife would be very happy with me too, and she doesn't even like me to gamble. But that's a whole different story. But I want you to talk a little bit, because you mentioned something there that I hadn't heard too many people talk about. It's a 2-year likelihood of not repaying your loan back. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so basically what FICO did, so FICO was established in 1956 in San Ramon, California. It was actually created by 2 gentlemen. It was Earl and Isaac were their last names. So that's where you get the Fair Isaac, and then it's been shortened down to FICO. So basically they are statisticians, and they ran millions of credit reports, and they were gathering information to predict the likelihood of people not paying their loans back. And so they ended up getting all this data together. And then basically they're like, hey, if we see a trend of maxed out credit cards, that makes the person a little more risky. Or if we see a collection on the credit report, then we know that there's a likelihood of these people not paying their loans back. And so they came up with this formula, and then this scale rating, kind of like when you go to high school, how you get your GPA. Well, your credit score is just a numerical risk factor that the bank looks at. And so, like I said, higher score means higher probability of paying your loan back. And then if you had a low score, like a 550 credit score or lower, the bank looks at your risk as like 50-50. So you'd be a 50-50 bet if you had a 550 credit score, which is crazy.
Yeah, so a lot of people aren't going to do that. That's great information. We're going to continue our conversation. Jeff Sipes, Blue Water Credit, is our guest. We're going to also talk about home price appreciation. And in today's market, listings are like an auction. Where have we heard about auctions before? You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter, at Ron Siegel. And if you missed any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Building your future wealth starts now. Take action and put your money to work for you instead of working for your money. Are you sitting on $100,000 of home equity? Realty Pro 100 has your solution. Realty Pro 100 Wealth Builder program may increase your net worth by $50,000 to $75,000 or more per year. Learn more about the Realty Pro 100 Wealth Builder program by texting My Wealth Builder to 79564. Text My Wealth Builder to 79564. License DRE 020590058.
Blue Water Credit Repair is the industry leader in fixing bad credit. Did you know a 40-point increase in your credit score can save you $40,000 on a home loan and $4,000 on a car loan? You deserve good credit and peace of mind. Take the first step today and go to bluewatercredit.com and register for a free consultation from one of their credit repair experts. That's bluewatercredit.com.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Trimming of your retirement does not include losing your house. However, due to today's lower stock market, higher medical bills, and taxes, many retirees face this very problem. This is why it is necessary that you, as a baby boomer considering retirement within the next 10 years, understand reverse mortgages and what one could do for you or your parents. The reverse mortgage could make it possible for you or your parents to travel, buy a second home, or start a new business. For more information about reverse mortgages, just call our off-air number at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990, or visit realestateradio.com and click the free workshop button.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Hey, we've been talking to you about right along our Team 53. It is a great service for you. If you don't remember, if you haven't listened to any of our past broadcasts, Team 53 has a great program. It's basically getting you the absolute highest price the market will bear for your property, and it's all done in a 53-day time window, not 53 days to get the highest price. That happens in somewhere between 21 and 28 days. But 53 days is what it takes to get your check, which I think most of you are more interested in getting the check than getting anything else. There's three items that are most important on every transaction, right? It's how much am I getting for my house? What do I have to do for it? What are the contingencies? What are the repairs or requests or anything like that? And what are the terms, right? It's pretty simple. How long is it going to take me? How much am I going to get? And what are the contingencies? We want to get this done. We want to make sure that our package is closed on time in a good way. Team 53 does that, and the reason I bring that up right now is because we are going to talk about auction pricing in just a minute, but now that's the Mortgage Minute brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. I want to continue our conversation. Jeff Sipes, Blue Water Credit. He is the credit guru for Ron Siegel Radio. So, Jeff, what's the best way to establish credit? How do we get started?
All right. So, great question, Ron. We get asked this actually quite a bit, either for somebody that just turned 18 and is just trying to get started in the credit world, or somebody that's fresh out of a bankruptcy and they're trying to restart their credit. So first thing you want to do is establish a secured credit card. A secured card is basically where you put down a security deposit. It could be as low as $200 or $300, and then they give you a credit card with the same or similar limit. I would recommend establishing 1 to 2 of those credit cards and then just using a small percent of the limit. So if it's a $300 credit card each month, to have the highest score, you want to just use about 10% of the limit. So charge between $5 and $30 on the card each month and then pay it off. Now, if somebody has a 0 credit score, Ron, it can take up to 6 months to generate a score from FICO. So basically open up a secured card and start using it. And then within 6 months, boom, you'll have a credit score. A second option is to add to a friend or family member, significant other's credit card as an authorized user. So an authorized user means that the primary cardholder would call into the credit card company, add you on as a user, and then you technically will inherit the entire payment history of that credit card. So make sure that the credit card has a low balance, there's no late payments, and the longer the payment history is, the better. And then you will, in essence, inherit all of that on your credit report.
So when you're talking about a secured card, Jeff, how long do I have to? So I'm basically giving the credit card company my money as a security deposit. How long do they keep it?
The terms are different, Ron. Some secured cards actually keep it the entire time the card's open. And then some credit unions I've heard usually will have like a 12-month period. As long as you paid everything on time, after 12 months, you get your funds back. So it kind of depends on the card, but sometimes it's as long as the card's open. Sometimes it's a year or 2 years before you get the money back.
So that's gonna help me develop credit over that 6 months that you were talking about, or something thereabouts. But for the long term, should I be opening up a more traditional credit card at some point, or do I just leave it this same way?
So great question, Ron. Yeah, it's kind of like a stairs, if you will. So you're going to initially build credit with secured cards, and then once you get your score up, typically unsecured cards want a minimum score of like a 680 or higher, 700, 720. And so after, 12 months or 18 months of building your credit, having low balances on those cards and paying on time, your score will climb. And then once you get your score up around 680 or 700, then you can apply for another credit card. 15% of the score, we talked a little bit about earlier about how 10% of the score are inquiries. Well, 15% of the score has to do with the age or history of your account. So FICO does not like to see accounts with less than a 2-year payment history. So if you can open the cards and then just kind of keep them open, ideally that's going to be best for your credit.
So Jeff, I've talked about this concept, and being that you are the expert, let me share with you what one of my strategies is, and tell me, am I on the right track, wrong track? So I tell folks that if they're not currently buying a house or a car, so they're not really in immediate need of their credit, that I'd like to see them have 4 or 5 credit cards. I'd like to see them put every one of their utilities or fixed expenses on its own card. So your phone bill on one card, your electric bill on another card, gas bill on another card, internet bill on another card, whatever, 4 or 5 of those. Have them set up as auto pay every month. And the day after they're due, have your checking account or your bank send a automatic payment to the credit card to pay that off right away. Would that help my score or hurt my score?
No, that's great. You have to use your credit cards every month, or you run the risk of the credit card company closing your card after 6 months of non-use. So that's great. Having the auto payments will definitely lower your likelihood of having a 30-day or 60-day late payment. And then the only thing I would just wanted to look into is if you have a $500 power bill and you have a $500 credit card, if it's getting maxed out, then that might potentially impact the score. But having FICO wants to see 1 to 5 credit cards open. So if they're in that range, the 3 to 5 number is really ideal for having the highest possible credit score.
Cool. Okay. So we've got some good information right there. So give us a couple of concepts here. How do we boost our credit the quickest?
You bet, man. And I get this all the time because we always do a free consultation to review credit and give advice. And a lot of our clients are coming to us and they're like, I found my dream home. I need my score up 30 points, 40 points. So the easiest way to bump the score up is paying down credit card debt. If somebody does not have funds to pay down all their credit cards, you want to pay down the smallest limits first. Because FICO looks at each card individually. So if you have limited funds and multiple credit cards, get the smallest limits paid down first, and then start chunking away at the bigger ones later. To have the highest possible score, Ron, you want to use between 1 and 10% of your available limit. So if you have $1,000 available limit, you want to charge between $10 and $100 on the card each month, and then pay it off as soon as you get the bill. If you have a 0 balance on the credit card, your score will not be as high as if you have a small balance. And so having a small balance will definitely maximize the score. Second would be adding as an authorized user. I mentioned that earlier. If somebody does not have old or established credit, you can add to a spouse's credit card as an authorized user, inherit that history. Third is if you have a collection that's unpaid. Now I want to be clear on this. This is a little confusing. If you pay off a collection, Ron, your score does not go up. However, if you can get the collection agency to agree to delete the account, then that will improve the score. So getting accounts or collections deleted off your credit is something that will improve the score. We actually have a direct link to TransUnion. And Ron, I don't know if I told you this or not. This is relatively new, but we can actually get medical collections with a balance under $500 removed most of the time within a few hours. So we don't have to wait the initial 30 to 45 days to get responses from credit bureaus. We can get those responses within a few hours. So scores can go up fast that way as well.
So I've always wondered about this, Jeff, because I try and figure out if most doctors are not going to be the ones that are going to put something, going to report to a credit bureau, I would think. And I think I've learned in the past that you have to have complete, accurate, and verifiable information on the credit report. So is there a conflict between the HIPAA laws and what shows on my credit report?
Yeah, the good news is that most accounts on the credit report have some sort of reporting error. There have been studies done, and as high as 79% of people have inaccurate information on their credit report. So 8 out of 10 people roughly have something on their credit report that's inaccurate. And due to the Fair Credit Reporting laws, if information is inaccurate, if it's incomplete, or they can't verify it, then it can be deleted or updated from your credit report. And if you can get some of that negative stuff removed off the credit, that's going to be a great way to boost up the scores.
That just fascinates me. And I know that I've looked at, I don't know, hundreds, maybe thousands of credit reports. I'm sure you look at more than I do. And I just wonder sometimes, because I don't think I've ever seen a completely accurate credit report. Do you see very many of them that are completely accurate, Jeff?
I do not. Yeah. And so, and what's interesting, Ron, is we've never, the general public does not have any training in how to read a credit report. They don't teach that in school or anything. Credit reports were actually never supposed to be released to the consumer. And so just over the last 15 years, we've had access to start looking at credit reports. And so there's a lot of codes on there that people don't understand. And there's dates and fields on the credit report that are required to be filled out. And if it's not filled out, that is a violation. And we can demand that the account be updated or removed from the credit.
That's some great information. We're going to continue our conversation with Jeff Sipes. When we come back, you're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. Home price appreciation is simple as supply and demand. And in today's market, listing prices are like an auction's reserve price. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
What's your plan to beat inflation and protect and build your future wealth? If you're not sure, and if you would like to learn the secret of building wealth by utilizing your current assets with little or no risk, Realty Pro 100 has your solution. Realty Pro 100 Wealth Builder Program may increase your net worth by $50,000 to $75,000 or more per year. Learn more about the Realty Pro 100 Wealth Builder Program by texting My Wealth Builder to 79564. Text My Wealth Builder to 79564. License DRE 02059058.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Blue Water Credit Repair is the industry leader in fixing bad credit. Did you know a 40-point increase in your credit score can save you $40,000 on a home loan and $4,000 on a car loan? You deserve good credit and peace of mind. Take the first step today and go to bluewatercredit.com and register for a free consultation from one of their credit repair experts. That's bluewatercredit.com.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037 and DRE number 018699452.
Are you tired of paying rent? Are you tired of paying someone else's mortgage? Do you know qualified folks can potentially purchase a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket? Ron Siegel can help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. If you're tired of paying someone else's mortgage, reach out to Ron today at ronismylender.com. That's ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender. Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. In the real-time real estate segment today, the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text our SLT Home Digest to 79564, SLT Home Digest 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. The digest actually tells you exactly what the county recorder knows about your property, exactly what the market believes about your property. Updated every month with an email to you. Gives you a communication method to come back to us at the team. And if you've got any questions or comments, we can address them from there. In today's market, listing prices are like an auction's reserve price. For generations, the process of buying and selling a home never really changed. A homeowner would try to estimate the market value of their home, then tack on a little extra to give themselves some negotiating room. That figure would become the listing price. Buyers would then try to determine how much less than the full price they could offer and still get the home. As a result, the listing price was generally the ceiling of the negotiation. The actual sales price would almost always be somewhat lower than what was listed. It was unthinkable to pay more than what the seller was asking. And not quite the same today. The record low supply of homes for sale, coupled with very strong buyer demand, is leading to a rise in bidding wars on many homes. Because of this, homes today often sell for more than the list price. In some cases, they sell for a lot more. According to Lawrence Yoon, chief economist at the National Association of Realtors, NAR, quote, for every listing, there are 5.1 offers. Half the homes are being sold over the list price, unquote. I saw an article from Redfin the other day. 102% of list prices is the norm on the national level, 102% of list. In this market, you likely can't shop for a home with the former approach of negotiating to a lower price. Due to the low supply of houses for sale, many homes are now being offered in an auction-like atmosphere in which the highest bidder wins the home. In an actual auction, the seller of an item agrees to take the highest bid, and many sellers set a reserve price on the item they're selling. Reserve price is the minimum amount a seller will accept as the winning bid. When navigating a competitive housing market, think of the list price of the home as the reserve price at an auction. It's the minimum the seller will accept in many cases. Today, the asking price is often becoming the floor of the negotiation rather than the ceiling. Therefore, if you really love a home, you better get aggressive on that pricing. And that's why, as a seller, I'm a big, big proponent of Team 53, not because I created it. I don't sell houses. I don't have any vested interest in the house being sold. But I do have the team put together of all of the professionals that are needed, from the realtor, the auctioneer, the home inspector, the NHD service, the disclosures, the whole 9 yards. It's all put in place in advance. So we have a non-distressed luxury auction is the way we're doing these. So it's a great, great program. Highly, highly recommended by your friends at Ron Siegel Radio. We're going to continue easy for me to say, must be an early morning here. Continuing with our conversation, Jeff Sipes, Blue Water Credit, is our guest today. We are, as you could probably guess, being that the name of his company is Blue Water Credit. We're talking about credit. We're talking about getting your credit scores enhanced. We're talking about the best way for you to deal with all of this. And we're going to really get you some great information, I believe. Well, welcome back, Jeff. Tell me a little bit about the pandemic. Has it changed anything within credit?
Yeah. Hey, Ron, thanks again for having me on the show. Yeah. So what's interesting about the pandemic, they actually passed the CARES Act March of 2020. And in the CARES Act, there were changes made to the Fair Credit Reporting Act, which are the laws governing credit reporting. And so basically what the changes were is if somebody was impacted financially by the pandemic, that they had the option to contact their creditors and work out some sort of payment arrangements, whether it's forbearance, deferred payment, partial payment, loan modification. The good news is if it was a federal loan, like a school loan, those were all pushed out until the end of this year, near the end of this year, before payments were made. And then on federal home loans, I know that there were options to do forbearance. And so maybe you want to talk a little bit about how forbearance can impact somebody's eligibility to get a home loan again, or?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically what you want to do is don't put your head in the sand. That's a problem. So the big idea here is call your home loan servicer, have a conversation with them, make sure that they understand that that you've got this going on, and then get back on your feet. Right? There's a lot of jobs open right now. We talked about that 9.3 million jobs available in the United States as of the JOLTS report earlier in the week. So start making those payments. Once you've made, depending upon the program, 1 to 6 payments, you're now eligible for a new home loan, to refinance, to sell and go buy again. All of those things become options for you. And it just depends on the different, there's several different programs. So call the servicer. We don't want to go through 2008, 9, 10 again. And the idea is that we don't want people being foreclosed upon. I've shared with you recently, and again, I'll tell you today, that the home prices appreciated about 13% in the last year. So there's really no reason for somebody to be underwater on their property. Start making your payments, and then you can sell. And Jeff, I think they put a note on your credit report that you were in forbearance, but I don't think it affects your score, does it?
It does not. You're exactly right, Ron. So if you go into forbearance, it is noted on the credit report, but there will be no credit score impact or implication for doing that, as long as you adhere to the terms you work out with the creditor. That's the big one, because we've had multiple people call in, Ron, where they say, I have a new 30-day late on my mortgage because I forgot I had a 3-month forbearance, and then I didn't make my 4th month's payment, and now I have a 30-day late. So make sure you take good notes, put calendar reminder for when your forbearance is up. And like Ron said, do your best to get back on your feet financially, cut back on your spending, try your best to get back on your feet financially, and then just do your best, obviously, to keep good notes and stay on top of when your bills are due as well.
So give me an idea here. I'm hearing something about Experian Boost. What is that?
So Experian Boost is something that Experian developed about 1.5 years ago. And Experian Boost, if you want to try to boost your credit, Experian will add utility bills, phone bills to your credit report. Now, this is only your Experian credit report, Ron, so it's not going to help Equifax or TransUnion. So if you go to Experian, you can sign up for it. It's free, but we know, Ron, there's really nothing that's free. Unfortunately, they're going to try to get you on some other things, but you can go to Experian and you can add phone bills, utility bills to your credit report. Now, there's good news and bad news with this. I'll kind of share all the information so that you can make the best decision. It does not help your mortgage FICO score because the mortgage FICO score is an older version and it doesn't recognize utility bills or phone bills. So it's not going to help you if you're trying to buy a house. However, if you're trying to get a car loan or a credit card and you want to boost your credit, you can go to Experian Boost, add those things, and it will likely get you a little boost in your credit score. Now, Ron, the downside to it, unfortunately, is you have to give Experian access to go into your bank account. And for those of us that follow credit, most of you realize that Equifax, which is a credit bureau, had a data breach a few years ago, and 144 million people's information was compromised. So if you do give Experian access to your bank account information and they are hacked, you have the potential for identity theft and also bank fraud.
That's pretty interesting. So there's a couple of items that I want to get to on there. First off, one of the things that's really important, because in the earlier segment, you talked about myfico.com, and I talk about them all the time on Ron Siegel Radio. I'm a subscriber. I do pay I think $50 a month, so I get my wife and my report, and we get all the information on a regular real-time basis. So I'm a big, big proponent of that. But Experian only gives you one number. If I look at myfico.com and Experian's already my highest score, and we're going to be using the middle score, really doesn't matter, does it?
You're exactly right, Ron. Yeah, there's just for clarification for the listeners, and you can walk me through this as well. When you apply for a home loan, they throw out your high score and your low score, so the middle score. So like what you said a moment ago, is if Experian's already your high score and you raise it another 30 points, it's irrelevant because the bank is going to go after your middle score. That's what's going to be used for the loan pricing.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So the other part is you mentioned the concept here, identity theft. Now, if you're listening to us this morning, you can go on ronsiegelradio.com, or you can go on to our YouTube channel, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. We did a whole workshop on identity theft, and I think that's been posted already. So take a look at that. But Jeff, give us a few ideas of what we need to do if we believe we've got a problem with our identity theft.
Sure. And so unfortunately, identity theft is skyrocketing. 5 years ago, the odds of having your identity stolen was maybe about 5 or 6% of the population. Recent studies are showing that it's about 1 out of 5 of us now that are going to have our identity stolen this year. And so what you want to do is make sure you're checking your credit report on a regular basis. So if you sign up for credit monitoring or myfico.com, you can get a free credit report at annualcreditreport.com. That's annualcreditreport.com. You get a free report with no scores, but you can check your credit report there actually once a week now for free because of the pandemic.
Once a week?
Yep, you get it for free once a week there now. Prior to the pandemic, you were only had access to that once a year, but in the CARES Act, the changes made to credit, you get a free report once a week now through annualcreditreport.com. So for identity theft purposes, definitely check your credit report. I would recommend at a minimum of once every 3 months, but most likely you want to be looking at it more frequently than that. And then if you have suspicious activity, new account show up, name, address change on the credit report, first thing you want to do is place a fraud alert on the credit. It's super easy to do. You can do it through one of the credit bureaus. Put a fraud alert. The fraud alert usually lasts for around 90 days, and then it lifts. But basically, anytime your credit's pulled by a lender, they can see there's potential fraud, so they do a little more investigating on that. And then you want to look at the credit report. If there's our items on there that were fraudulent, you want to file a police report. Typically, you can do that online. And then we have what's called a fraud affidavit. With a fraud affidavit, it needs to be notarized. You just have to take it to a notary, sign it, and then with a police report and a fraud affidavit, we've been 99.9% successful in getting the information removed or repaired from credit report, usually within 35 to 90 days, depending on how responsive the creditors are.
So you're still dealing with that same slow return, 35 to 90 days. Now, I'm going to share with you, and obviously I don't get paid by Blue Water Credit. I just send them a lot of folks that need their help, need their assistance. They do a great job. Can you do this stuff on your own? Absolutely. Can you do knee surgery on yourself? Probably. Are you going to get good results doing it yourself? Probably not. That's why there's professionals that do what they do. I share with you all the time that there are a lot of things that you can go and find solutions for on the internet. I tell folks when they're calling our team, yeah, we do know a little bit about credit. Jeff comes on with me at least once a quarter, so we get a chance to talk, and he educates me. I do this stuff all the time. So if I have other questions, I have access to Jeff. But here's the bottom line. When it comes to even me looking at my own credit scores, my own credit reports, I want a professional to do it. right? Not only because it's not that expensive, but it gets done right. It gets done right the first time. I do monitor my scores when I've had some questions about why something happens when I get my myfico.com alerts, because it goes right to my phone every day. Every single day I get a notice on my phone from myfico.com telling me about something with the report. So I'm going to suggest to you that, get a professional to help you, because you're talking about thousands and thousands of dollars when you're talking about a home loan. And when we come back, we're going to talk more with Jeff about collections. What can they do? Do you want to just pay it off? How about sharing your credit? Because my wife and my score, should they be the same? We do everything together. Our bank accounts are the same. We pay the same checks. So we'll talk about all that and more with Jeff Stipes when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. We're going to also chat a little bit about home prices, and we're just going to talk real simple. It's called supply and demand, all that and more. You can reach me anytime off air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
If you're listening to this program, building personal wealth is a topic you're familiar with, and you probably understand that making money is about creating a high income from a high-paying job or running a business, while building wealth, on the other hand, is about creating a stock of value that goes up over time. You've also probably noticed lately that prices for fuel, groceries, and raw materials are skyrocketing, while your monthly income remains flat. Welcome to Inflation 101. One of the fastest growing wealth building strategies is utilizing your current assets with little or no risk, like the equity in your home. Realty Pro 100 has been helping people like you increase their net worth by $50,000 to $75,000 per year. Now's the time to put your money to work for you and beat inflation. Learn more and start building your wealth by contacting Realty Pro 100. Text My Wealth Builder to 79564. Text My Wealth Builder to 79564. Receive free information on how the Realty Pro 100 Wealth Builder program works and if it's the right wealth building strategy for you. License DRE 02059058.
Are you tired of paying rent? Are you tired of paying someone else's mortgage? Do you know qualified folks can potentially purchase a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket? Ron Siegel can help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. If you're tired of paying someone else's mortgage, reach out to Ron today at ronismylender.com. That's ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation mortgage adoption plan. You be the judge if it's right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to map@ronsiegelradio.com or call today Ron Siegel 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporation and MLS 217037 and BCAL-BRE number 018694552.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions, as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio anytime at 800-306-1990, 1990. The real-time real estate segment brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. Home price appreciation is as simple as supply and demand. Home price appreciation continues to accelerate. Today, prices are driven by a simple concept of supply and demand. Pricing of any item is determined by how many items are available compared to how many people want to buy that item. As a result, the strong year-over-year home price appreciation is simple to explain. The demand for housing is up while the supply of homes for sale hovers at historic lows. So if you go to our social channels, you can actually see 3 maps that show some different numbers. It's actually a whole blog post that we put on our socials about this home price appreciation. And there's one map on there that shows state-by-state price appreciation reported by the Federal Housing Finance Agency, first quarter 2021, compared to the first quarter of 2020. Home price appreciation up 14.3% in California, 12.6% is the national number. The second map that's in the post is the change in state-by-state inventory levels year over year reported by Realtor.com, and the year-over-year change in housing inventory 42% is the year-over-year change. 42% down. 42% in California, down 52% nationwide. So big correlation in the 2 maps in the listing inventory and price appreciation in many states. The best examples, Idaho, Utah, Arizona. But the correlation is not as easy to see in every state. The overall picture is one of causation, maybe problematic. The reason prices continue to accelerate is that housing inventory is still at all-time lows while demand remains high. However, this may be changing. Is there relief around the corner? The report by Realtor.com also shows the monthly change in inventory for each state. And that's the third map that's in the post that we shared. State-by-state changes in inventory levels month over month reported by Realtor.com. And the month-by-month, 3.9% in California, 2.5% for the whole country. The map indicates 39 of the 50 states, plus the District of Columbia, saw increases in inventory over the last month. This may be evidence that homeowners who have been afraid to let buyers in their homes during the pandemic are now putting their houses on the market. We'll know soon enough. But the bottom line is, if you're thinking of selling now, maybe we get a great time to get in touch. Give us a call at 800-306-1990. We will put you in touch with our group at Team 53 to see what we can do to help you with getting that done for you. Continuing our conversation, Jeff Sipes, Blue Water Credit, is with us this morning. He is the credit guru for Ron Siegel Radio. So, Jeff, let me ask you this question. My wife and I, we've 34 years we've been doing this together. Sounds like almost like a lifetime for some people, maybe even more than a lifetime for some. But we have the same bank account. We're on all the same credit cards together. We do basically everything together. Yet her scores are better than my scores. Is that normal?
That's funny, Ron. I say the exact same thing. Me and my wife have been together 17 years. Everything's the same, but our credit scores. So our credit score is actually tied to our social security number. And so if me and my wife both printed out our credit reports, even though we share nearly everything, there will be subtle differences. And those subtle differences are going to yield a different score. So I think I've only seen one case out of we're at over 12,000 clients now. So I probably looked at, 20, 30,000 credit reports have gone through our office. I've only seen one case where the scores are the same for husband and wife. And that was probably an anomaly. So have you ever seen it, Ron, when you're looking at reports, ever see spouses with the same scores?
Never. And it's funny because, and I don't know why this is the case, Jeff, but most of the time I see them where the wife has generally got the higher score than the husband.
I agree with you. Statistically speaking, who knows what it is? Maybe they're a little better with their finances or a little less risk adverse than us guys are. Who knows what it is, but I agree with you. I think statistically, I see the wife typically having a higher credit score than the husband.
Fascinates me. So earlier in the broadcast, Jeff, you made a comment, and we kind of went by it pretty quick. But I want you to elaborate, if you would, the thought here. So many people, I hear them, they'll call into our private lending team for the mortgages, and they say, well, and we mentioned that, you've got a collection on your report. They say, okay, I'll just pay that off. And you mentioned that may not be the best solution. Talk about that a little, if you would.
Yeah. So remember, I'm giving advice for FICO scores, not Credit Karma or the other scores. So FICO looks at a collection, whether it has a balance or has a zero balance, and it hurts your score the same. And so really the only way to improve a FICO score if you have a collection is to get the collection deleted. Now, fortunately, collections are fairly easy to get deleted. I'd say our average is probably around 65 to 70% of the time we can get them off a credit report, which could yield us an improvement of 20 points all the way up to maybe even 100 points, depending upon how new the collection is. The newer the collection, the more it pushes the score down. So if somebody in theory thinks I'm just going to pay my collection to zero and my score is going to go up, it's not the case. So they pay the collection to zero. The score in theory will stay the same. Now, let me give you another nuance. Sometimes when someone pays off an old collection, Ron, the collection agency makes the collection look like it just happened, which could potentially lower the score. Because like I said a moment ago, if you have an old collection, it's not impacting the score very much. So if you pay it off and the collection agency makes it look like it's brand new, your score could drop.
So why would they make it look like it's brand new? Is it because it now shows as it's something more current on activity on there?
Yeah, it's called re-aging, and it's illegal to do, but we see it happening, maybe 15, 20% of the time. So if you had, say you had 10 collections on your credit report and you paid them all off, realistically, maybe one of those or two of those would get re-aged and it potentially could drop your score. So when you're paying a collection, like you said earlier, if you're trying to do your own tax return or you're trying to change out your transmission in your car, in some cases, it's best to get some expert advice. And so we'd always offer a free consultation. They can go to our website, which is bluewatercredit.com, register for a free consultation, and then we can give someone advice on which accounts to settle, if they'll agree to delete it, and then also give you some other good tips on how to have the best score. So ultimately, you can get your dream home or save money on your loans.
That's the best concept right there. I mean, I love it, the idea that you're offering a free consultation to all of our listeners so that they can actually get that. And it doesn't matter whether you're doing business with our team or not. We're here to basically give you great guidance. And I'll be the first to tell you, as a consumer advocate, there's some credit repair companies that are out there that I would never talk to. Right? I don't want nothing at all to do with them. I can tell you, after I think 6 or 7 years, every one of the people that I've sent over to Blue Water Credit has been thrilled with their services. And one of the things that I like is Jeff and his team will be the first to tell you, hey, we can help you. We can't help you. This is going to be a project that's going to take us for the rest of our lives, and maybe it's not worth it. No, I haven't had that one happen yet. But they're going to give you a straight answer as to what you can hope for. What kind of guarantees are there, Jeff?
So we do have 100% satisfaction guarantee. So at the end of the services, if you aren't satisfied, we'll do whatever we can to make it up to you, up to the point of issuing a full refund.
And now here's the thing: is Jeff is kind of like an attorney, right? And he's not an attorney. I'm not saying that, but we don't make guarantees as to what's going to happen on your score.
Yeah, right? It's illegal for a credit. Yeah, credit repair companies can't make a guarantee. Actually, it's illegal.
But I bet there's some of them that do it. That's just my opinion. I don't want you to comment on that, Jeff. I don't want you to get in trouble. But there's some out there, because I've seen them, that will guarantee that they'll get your score up 30 to 60 points in 30 days. And I'm going to tell you right now, they may be fine people. I don't know all of them. But if it was me, I'd be running. because, I've talked to Jeff, I've talked to other people in the space, and they know pretty much what's going to happen before they do it, but there's not a 100% guarantee. So when somebody says that this is what's going to happen, I'd be real careful. And there are models. So Jeff, as a lender, lenders actually can go in and run a simulator. How do you see? Are those simulators pretty accurate, or are they just a rough idea as well?
Yeah. So good question. So this credit scoring simulators, most of them, if they're using eXpert, it's not a FICO score simulator. So it is an estimate, but they typically are pretty close. So most of the time when you see a credit score simulator, it's going to have estimates on paying down credit card balances. Like I mentioned earlier, FICO does state that one maxed out credit card can drop your score by up to 40 points. So if you have multiple credit cards that are maxed out, you can definitely see, a minimum of 40-point boost by paying down the balances below the 10% threshold. That's kind of the magic number.
Does it happen the next reporting period after you pay it down, or do you have to leave it there for a period of time to get that benefit?
Great question. So most credit card companies report on the day that your statement closes. And so credit cards report to the credit bureaus once a month. So on your credit card, you have a statement close date and then a payment due date, which is usually a few weeks after they've sent the information to the bureau. So if I have maxed out credit cards and I paid them all off today, Ron, it would take up to 30 days to show on my credit report.
Okay, so that's some great information again. And again, go to bluewatercredit.com. I've got their really nice site up there on my screen right now. And you don't have to look very far to try and find some great information. And you can even go right on there and you can see quite a few good or really satisfied or exciting Yelp reviews, Google reviews. All of that's right there. And you've got a book on there too, don't you, Jeff?
Yeah, actually, if anybody is listening, we've got a ton of free resources. We've got over 200 blog articles, and they could download. We have 2 ebooks, How to Get 30 Points in 30 Days and Fast Credit Repair. So you can download these books absolutely free and then cruise around the blog, check out any of the information. Our goal is to be a resource for anybody that's trying to improve their credit, obviously, so they can improve their life.
Absolutely. Great information. If you're driving right now and listening to us on Go Country, hey, don't try and write this while you're driving. All you have to do is remember to come back here all the time. I've got the information to put you in touch with Jeff. So you can come 24 hours, well, maybe not 24 hours a day, but you can go on a regular basis. You can send us an email. You can send us a text message. You can send a smoke signal, any of our socials. Just say that you want to know who's the credit guy that was on with you, Ron, and we'll get that information to you. And as always, I ask you, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Big thanks to Josh, who's engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We will talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.